Recording in progress.
Okay, so thank you, Alessandra. Welcome, everyone. This is the third webinar we are doing. The first one was in collaboration with two other projects in extended reality. The previous one was in July, and this is the third one related to the open call that we are going to present today with further details. So I have some very, very short slides to present a bit the objectives of XR2LEARN. So the main goal of the project is to boost XR for education and training. Sorry about that. I'll try to see how to say it. That's weird. That's weird. Do you still get the echo? Yes. Or no?
It's better. It seems better. Thank you.
Sorry, apologies for that, but I'm in a difficult environment. Anyway, the first objective is to connect extended reality designers with education experts, and also co-involve instructional designers and training organization in this process towards developing education and training applications using extended reality. And the second component is to deliver a digital platform with a series of tools, for examples, models, to assess the performance of extended reality applications, low-code components to accelerate XR development and distribution, and so on. So the project follows two strands. We have the business strand and we have the technology strand. Today, open calls fall under the technology strands, as we call it, and in particular, the technology pool part. This open call process will be followed by a second one next year. And of course, all the things that are presented today are valid also for next year. So as I said, there are also two other webinars that you can view online. The first one was on June. This is the bottom one. There we had the presentation of some low-code components and some open source XR educational applications, just to have an indication on what we have in mind as a project. And then a webinar on July essentially presented the submission system, the timing, the requirements, and the eligibility for the open call. So today we are going to focus a bit on different elements, like also the evaluation and what you have, what you should include in the proposal. And with that, I will stop here, and I will pass the floor to my colleagues. Of course, all this information are available also through the website and in LinkedIn, and the recording will be made available also on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yanni. Yes, thank you. I thought Felicia would have taken the floor directly. Then I passed the floor to Felicia to explain better how to apply it and the benefit to apply to this open call. Please, Felicia.
Hello from me as well, and thank you for joining us in the second webinar in the series. So in case you missed the first one, I will first going to be going through the details for the first open call. Let me share my screen.
Hello.
I think you're seeing the wrong screen, sorry. I think now you can see the right one. So first of all, the objective for the first open call is to extend the XR2LEARN ecosystem with innovative XR tools and applications that target the training and educational scenarios. So for the funding for this open call, a minimum of 70% will be allocated for proposals related to Industry 5 and a maximum of 30% for other educational sectors, like, for example, the medical. The total funding for this open call is at 2.1 million euros. The funding that can be requested per sub-project is in the range of 150,000 to 300,000 euros, and the funding per industrial entities is around 60,000 to 200,000 euros. All the partners of the accepted sub-projects will be funded at 100% through lump sum. So 7 to 14 applications will be selected for this first open call. The applicants can be either individuals or a consortium of up to 3 partners with an SME as the coordinator, and the duration expected for the sub-projects accepted will be 1 year. So here you can see the timeline for the first open call. Right now we're close to the ending for these submissions at the 29th of September, 5 o'clock CEST. And then we will go through the evaluation and selection process that will be described in a later session of this webinar, and the XR2LEARN sub-project contracts, and the projects are expected to start at the 1st of January 2024. So the key dates that you have to remember as of now is the deadline for the submissions, in case you want to submit your proposal, and the project start. I will be going through very quick with the eligibility criteria for this open call. In case you want to see them in more detail, you can always look for the first webinar that is in your YouTube channel, and of course the open call documents that are uploaded on our website. So the first part is the SME eligibility criteria. The coordinator, of course, for the submissions of a proposal must be an SME. And an SME, according to the European Commission recommendation, that there are some requirements, like, for example, as you can see, the headcount or annual work unit that needs to be less than 250. And also, an SME applicant is eligible if it complies with all the following rules, as you can see outlined. I'm sorry. I can hear you, but we are going to be having a Q&A session at the end. Okay. As I said, it must comply with all the following rules outlined here, like it must be a legal entity, and it must be established and based in one of the Euro member states, or be an Horizon associated country. You can find a link on our open call documents, specifically the Annex 2, the guide for applicants, where you can check if your country is an Horizon associated one. Then there are some proposal eligibility criteria, like the proposals must offer some technological developments, such as extra tools and applications. They must have a clear European dimension and contribute towards the European digitization, targeting clear economic and societal impacts. The requested funding must be within range, as mentioned before, 150,000 to 300,000 per proposal. Where the total for industrial partners should be at least 60%, while academic, teaching, or research organizations can request up to 40% of the total funding. And it's important to mention that each legal entity can participate in only one proposal at each XR2LEARN open call. So if we see a proposal for this first open call that there is a legal entity that has participated in 2 proposals, it will be automatically discarded and deemed as ineligible. Any legal entity that is accepted and an application for the first open call will be automatically not included in the second open call. Then the open call one requirements. I would like to mention that if you're considering applying or you have started an application for our first open call, it's really important that you read carefully the documents of the first open call, that they are uploaded on the XR2LEARN website, as you can see under this link. And you can find them also on the F-Success site. The process that Sophia has been through on the first webinar and is going to mention as well later on is the following. The applicant should register, of course, at the F-Success XR2LEARN page. This is where our applications will be going through, and the applicants must answer all the mandatory questions and fill the proposal template as well as the proposal supplement and provide all the required documents correctly filled. That's all from me for now. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Felicia. We will have some space for a question and answer at the end of this webinar. I will pass the floor now to Sophia, that will explain us how to navigate in the FS6 platform.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sofia Savova, and I represent F-Success, which is one of the partners within XR2LEARN project. And since our platform that many of you may know hosts the open call application procedure, I will now give you some insights how to apply, and my idea is to ease your life and to support you throughout the process so you won't face any challenges there. So let me first share my screen. Here we are. So first step would be enter the F-Success platform. I guess many from you have already been there, and from here you actually have two paths. Either you have an account or you create a new one. When you would like to create a new one, it is basically nothing more special than creating an email. So I will not go through this process. I will just start with filling in my password to enter. Well, of course, it should work. And this is the display you will see after you sign in. You know, this is the link for the application process. You have it on all the documents we have published about the open call. And yeah, once you enter, you will see this page. Actually, for us, it is very important that we will see that you have very detailed information about yourself. And we will ask you to do so here on your right-hand side. You have update your profile. So I would say this is your first step here. Then you should continue by creating your own organization or startup. This happens here. Actually, I have created several, but if you didn't already have a company, you put here on create one, and you can give it a name, and then you create. I'll put attempt 6 in my case. When you create it, your first task is to assign people to your company if you have any. If you don't, you just cancel this option and continue with the filling in the data. So it is also important to see that you have a lively company. So update your page, your company's page. Here, it is actually quite user-friendly. You can put a name of your company, you can put a tagline, you can also add information about location, potential markets, and funding opportunities, your logo, link, everything possible. Please have a look here and add everything that is relevant to your company. Once you filled in the information about you and your startup or company, you are free to go with filling in the questions about the application form. So it basically has two parts. The first one is to fill in the questions that are directly on the platform. Here you see it. And the second part is downloading and filling in documents that are the second part. So before doing it, please also consult the guide for applicants, which is visible here with the link. So once you're done, you can add your proposal acronym. I will put attempt 6 in my case, proposal title or something. So you just add your relevant data. Then you have to choose whether your proposal targets industry 5.0. Then if the product that you're going to produce or the service that you're going to produce is released as open source, I will put yes. And here is the place for a very short summary of your project. I will put like something very random in order to the system to allow me to continue. Then we would like a little bit more about you as an applicant leader. Put your name, like I will put this one, then I will say like this, like very short name of your company, then your PIC number, something random. In case you are not aware what does PIC number means, here we have provided a link for you for your reference, so have a look, please. An address, I'll just put something in order for the system to allow me to continue. Also the country you're based. Department name is not a mandatory field, so if you don't have departments at your company, so please leave it open. If you're an SME, and basically that's it. As also Felicia shared, this open call allows you to have partners. In case you have partners, you can have up to 2 partners for this proposal. Please fill in data about your partners here. In case you don't have, you just leave these fields open. They are not mandatory to be filled in. And actually you're done with the first part. Then a second part would be to fill in the proposal supplement, as also Felicia shared, which is essential document for the application. You can download it from here, and I will just go through the document in order for you to show you how it looks. I hope you see it now. Yeah, I think it is visible. So on the first page, you can see very detailed instructions how to fill in this document. Please read them carefully and then continue with filling in. Of course, on the cover page, we would expect some data about you and about your proposal, like the same data as you filled in the platform. Then we continue with a summary of your project. Here, it is important to see that in yellow, you see the volume of the text that is expected, the page limitation. It is 1 page here. And in green italic, you can see instructions about what is expected in this field and in the next fields as well. Then we continue with the concept and implementation. Again, notification about the page limitation and instructions in green about your concept and objectives implementation. Of course, here in these tables, you can add as many rows as you need in order to explain best your project idea. The second session is about impact. So please tell us more about your socio-economic impact that you expect to create with your proposal, about the commercialization and your business strategy. We also would like to know more about your dissemination plan and also sustainability strategy. The third chapter expects from you that you describe yourself as an applicant, So what is your profile? What is your relevant experience? What is the exploitation plan that you expect to implement? And you can also add some short CVs from the relevant personnel that is going to be engaged in the project. The fourth chapter, resources. So please here show us who is going to work with you on this project, how many person months are going to be allocated to the project, so we have an idea how you envisage to implement it. The last chapter is about ethics and security, so please have a look on the instructions here and fill in the ethics and security checklist here. So basically, this is how the proposal supplement looks like. It is not complicated document, and once you have filled it in, please upload it. I will continue sharing the other screen. Please save it as a PDF file and upload it here. I will show you. Wait, I can. Yeah. You can upload it here as PDF. The same applies for all the documents that are listed here. All the documents are mandatory. You can download them here, fill it in, and then turn it into PDF and upload again. So I will just show you how it works. Consortium declaration. You add it here. Then we have declaration of owner. Here it is as well. Then we continue with the financial sustainability document. You add it again and open co-bank account form. You also add it here. Well, my personal advice here would be that before you submit, have a final look of your document, have a proofread of all the documents that you have provided. And then once you're sure that this is the best shape and form of your proposal, then click on the acceptance of XR2LEARN first open call conditions here. And then you click the desired button, apply to the open call. Once you do it, there will be a notification that you have successfully finalized your application here in green. And this will ring a bell for us to check what you have for us. So this is basically it. I would suggest you to have a look on the platform. It is very user-friendly. And if you have still some questions, please use the discussion section here on your right-hand side. You can like raise a question and we will reply to you in a timely manner. Thank you very much. And once the Q&A session is open, we are here for you to have. Thank you.
Many thanks, Sophia. Maybe while there is the next section, you could start to respond to some of those questions, and then we will give space also the Q&A one. I've been told during your talk that some people are waiting in the room. In the waiting room. I unfortunately don't see that, so I'm asking Ioannis to please double check it and let people in. And then we pass the floor to the next speaker, which is Felicia, right? On the evaluation process.
Yes, that's right. So let me share my screen. So I will now be speaking about the evaluation process for the first open call. So here you can see an overview of all the procedures for the evaluation for the first open call, but it follows a four-step process. First, you prepare your proposal, and after you submit your proposal, it goes through a process to check whether your proposal is eligible or not. This is the first step. So it creates a list with the eligible proposals. Then all the eligible proposals go through the second step, that is the external remote evaluation that includes the individual evaluation and the consensus evaluation. And the third step includes the proposal ranking, where the actual proposals to be accepted are, the list with the actual proposals to be accepted is created. And the last step includes the project contract signature. I will be going through the steps in more detail right now. The first step, as I said, includes the eligibility. So an automatic filtering is applied to discard all the non-eligible proposals and create the first list. The filtering is applied based on the rules that you can see here. First, the proposing entity must be a legal entity that is eligible for funding from the European Union and according to the rules of the Horizon Europe. The second applies to the SME eligibility criteria and the proposal-specific eligibility criteria that I mentioned in the first part of this webinar, and you can find more details about them on the Annex 2 Guide for Applicants. The fourth actually is that the proposals and all the associated documents created must be written in the English language, and all the required annexes must be included in your proposal. But they have to be also corrected completed, signed, and stamped. The second step includes the external remote evaluation. So, two evaluators external to the XR2LEARN consortium with experience relative to the project, meaning the XR and education and business development, will evaluate each proposal based on the criteria that you can see here. The first one includes the concept and innovation. The proposals you create must be innovative. The second one includes technology, whether your proposal is feasible and has a quality and it's technologically sound. The third one includes the impact, the societal and or environmental, economical impact that the proposal has. And the last one includes the applicant entity of the team, the evaluation of the actual candidates, the business expertise and experience relative to the aspects of this project. Each criterion will get a mark that is between 1 to 10, and half-point scores will not be given. Each score value indicates the following assessments, and you can see here. Marks 1 to 2 are a fail, 3 to 4, very poor, 6 to 7, good, 8 to 9, very good, and the mark 10 is excellent. There is a threshold for each criterion, so for each criterion, the threshold is 6, and for the overall score you gain is 26. So if your proposal receives less than 6 in one of these 4 criterions I've mentioned before, then it's automatically rejected. Or if it receives less than 26 as an overall score, then it is also automatically rejected. The evaluators will evaluate individually the proposals, and then they will communicate to prepare a single consensus evaluation summary report for each proposal. This will represent the opinions and scores on which the evaluators agree, and they will sign on them. The third step includes the ranking and selection procedure. The first open call receives a funding of 2.1 million euros in total. As I said previously, there will be a minimum of 70%, meaning 1,470,000 euros allocated projects relevant to Industry 5 technologies. So the selection procedure for these that will follow the evaluation is the following. First, a list is created, including the projects that are all relevant to Industry 5 technologies and will be ranked. I will explain the ranking a bit later. From this list, the top ranked projects will be selected and having a requested funding of up to 1,470,000 euros. If there is a total requested funding of the selected projects below this number, then an additional project will be also selected. All the remaining projects will be ranked again in a single list this time. From this new list, the top ranked projects will be selected so that the requested funding for in totals, meaning that including the 1,470,000 mentioned before, must be 2.1 million euros. In case the funding is less than this number, then the remaining funding will be transferred to the second open call. So the ranking procedure that I mentioned will be semi-automatic and will be based on the following rules. First, all the projects are ranked according to the overall score received from the evaluators, meaning the sum of criterions 1 to 4. In case there are projects that are in the same position in the ranking, then we will go through the second rule, that is the innovation of concept, meaning they will be scored based on the evaluation criterion 1. Then again, if there are projects in the same position, then they are going to be ranked based on the evaluation of criterion 2, meaning technological and implementation capacity. Then going to the next rule, that there is an impact and market potential, meaning the evaluation of criterion 3. Then projects that have requested for a lower funding will be deferred. Then the projects that have a bigger number of female researchers in the project team will also be preferred. And the last rule applies to the projects that increase more the XR2LEARN project footprint in Europe. In case now that all the rules have been applied and there are still projects that are in the same position, then are able to receive a funding, that is funding left. Then the XR2LEARN consortium will invite at least one additional evaluator to read the specific proposals and be able to break this conflict by re-evaluating. So at the end of this whole process mentioned, there have to be 7 to 14 proposals selected, and there will be also 4 proposals that will remain in the reserve list, meaning in case one of or more of the selected proposals fail during the contract preparation, then the projects from the reserve list will be accepted. All the proposals will receive an acceptance or a rejection letter, together with an anonymized version of this consensus evaluation report that I mentioned. The last step includes the contract preparation. So the XR2LEARN coordinator will inform the European Union of the results, and then we start the process of the sub-project contract preparation in collaboration with the applicants that have been evaluated in the shortlist. This contract preparation will go through administrative and financial checking based on the evaluator's comments. You can find more information if you like about the contract preparation process that I mentioned on our Annex 2 Guide for Applicants on section 4.2.4 that is uploaded on our site. That is all for me for now. Thank you very much once again.
Many thanks, Felicia. I think we can already start the question and answer. I see there are many questions. I will start with the older one that were already asked during Sophia talk. So I have a long chat. So I remember that the first one was from Loreto Perez. So if you want, you can also ask your own question, Loreto. No, doesn't need it. So I'm gonna read it. Let me see if it's the first one. Okay, that is about the link of the recording. And is it mandatory to provide or to develop the tools application we propose to the open call as open source? And then there are 4 replies. So I think that is. And then there is something, can we submit the tools already developed? Always as a follow-up. Who wants to respond?
I can respond to that. So the tools that if you have developed something and you provide an extension that you will wish to apply to the first open call, then it's welcome. But you have to keep in mind that all the tools that are going to be included for the first open call must be innovative. You have to provide an innovation.
I hope Loreto was clear the answer. Then the same person asked if the XR2LEARN platform exists. So maybe we can give some link to people.
The XR2LEARN platform will not be delivered in time for the start of the open calls, and you're not obliged to be compatible with the platform for the first open call. So it will be provided later on. It's actually under development as of now.
And then there is a follow-up of the same question from Arianna that say, I was wondering if it's possible to form a consortium consisting of 3 small enterprises.
Yes, it's possible. Since everyone is an SME, you have you can choose anyone to be the coordinator of the consortium, and you can apply up to 3 partners.
Okay, thank you. Then there is Giuseppe Scarpi that says, we may have mind caps partner, not the coordinator. I would like to be sure that the definition of mind caps is that of official European journal, employees with less than 500, annual turnover no more than 100 million, and annual balance sheet no more than 86 million. I don't know.
You have the coordinator must be an SME according to the European recommendation described also in this webinar, and you can find also the information or unguided applicants. So this is the requirement, the absolute requirement.
So you can check the call, Giuseppe. Then somebody asked what is an industry 4.0, but I think somebody else responded. They say simple answer could be industry 0.4x plus is human in the middle. Do we agree with that?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
What is the industry 5.0 technologies?
It includes robots and such operations.
Okay, thank you. If you are not satisfied, people write it down. The financial, okay, there is some question. I don't know if he's, no, he's not talking to us. The financial stability document should be in English because we only have it in French.
Yes, all the provided documents must be in English. This is a requirement for the eligibility to apply for the second call.
Now they go to the call. So I'm reading Stefania's question. Concerning the 70% of the project, should the target XR education solution apply to industry 4.0? Could you clarify the relationship between education and the sector mentioned? Thank you.
The relation between XR and education. So we have to have applications that are someone in the domain of education. So like training for industrial workers and such.
Okay. I have another. So I shoot all the questions. Sorry, Felicia, but other can take the floor.
Yes, you can.
So Alexis says, if we produce a Metaverse 3D Unity educational project, we need a Metaverse editor based in US to make it run. Is it a problem? So can we involve somebody from US?
They have to check all if the US is in the Horizon compatible associated countries in the list. So in order to be able to receive funding from this open call, its legal entity must be either an European member state or to be included in this list of the Horizon associated countries. I'm not sure right now, but you can check. You can find an annex to guide for applicants. There is a link with a document containing all this information.
Yes, exactly. Then there is from Achi, can we go through the page limitation on the proposal file? I don't think there is this time now, but if you have a specific, I'm responding to this, but please, people, if you don't want, if you don't, is not clear, just write to us. We might leave some email at the end, but Sophia, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that all the limitations of the proposal supplement are noted in yellow, and the limitations on the platform are also shown in the right angle of the field that you're filling currently. So no worries, there is enough instruction on that when you start working on the proposal. Thank you.
Then I have Elena that asks, I would like to ask to explain what means circular nature of the project experiment.
I'm not sure exactly the meaning of this question, but if you can write us, you can always, like you mentioned, that ask us questions on the F6S blog, and we will be able to answer them maybe in more detail. I'm not sure I understand the meaning behind this right now.
Then I have Andres that say, a company created at the end of 2022, passing the financial stability check comfortably, but had a low turnover in 2022, say 4,000 in 2022. That is, have any limitation in the amount of funds to request?
If the company is eligible to receive funding, then they can request for funding. According to what I mentioned previously, the industrial entities can request from 60,000 to 200,000, and the other educational facilities and etc. can request up to 40% of the total funding. So this is very rule in order to be able to receive funding there.
Yeah, and also will be checked. So yeah. I continue with the questions. We still have time, sorry. Does the call set a requirement about minimum TRL or TRL to achieve? Stefania asked this.
No, I don't believe so. You can always check Annex 2, but I don't think we have a minimum TRL. It's nice to have a higher one, of course, but there is no minimum.
Okay. I continue with the question. Vivek says, there are any additional point to note for a UK RTO to participate as a project partner with an European SME who will lead the project? I mean, UK is part of the country that can apply, no?
Since UK is an Horizon associated country and they can receive funding, I don't think there will be a problem with that. Yes, Sophia?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I have just posted in the chat the list of participating countries, so you can have a look there for your reference.
And I continue with Lorena. Can you please be clear to reply whether one of the partner, not the main, in the consortium can be a brand new SME created this month, they say, she says.
If the SME can receive funds again and has passed the financial stability check from the European Union, then they can receive funding. We have a link on the Annex 2 guide for applicants where you can check whether you passed the financial stability check or not. I don't know if someone can put it on the chat.
Then Philippe asked, we are a no-low-code platform to create XR experiences, especially used by schools and universities around the world to teach immersive storytelling. Is it eligible? Low-code platform.
As you can see on the presentation previously, there has to be some innovation and technological advancements. These are on the criteria of the open code. So you can always partner, and of course, if you're able to create a proposal and are able to receive funding, you can participate as an SME and maybe partner, create a consortium. Yanis?
Yeah, I want to come back to the question about the circular nature of the project. There was this question in the chat. So this is mentioned in the call under the concept and implementation section. The point here is that we don't expect at the end of the open call to have a ready product. This is not the main objective. We believe that the proposals and the projects that will be selected are something that will continue even after the execution of the project, and maybe they have been developed by the groups before the open call. So the question here is, what is the innovation potential, taking into consideration also the continuity after the project? So the novelty of the project and the innovation potential, not only of the project, but also of the overall service or product. I hope this answers the question about the circular nature.
Thank you, Yanis. I think it's clear. Otherwise, we will hear in the chat for more questions. I continue with the reading.
Just to point one more thing, Alessandra, sorry for the interaction. I think it's very important to use the forum system of the F-Success platform. I think Sophia has already mentioned that, but it's very important that the questions are posted on the forum so that then also for transparency reasons, the answers are available to everyone. But just a quick comment.
Yes, maybe we can repost the link to the forum, then people can immediately access, please. And then I continue with the reading Hussein question that is regarding the funding. He asked, do you prefer lower budget or higher budget proposal? I don't think it's a problem in the budget, but...
No, there is not a problem in the budget, but as you saw previously in the presentation for the evaluation, when creating the ranked list, in case there are projects that are in the same position, at some point, I don't remember the number of the rule, we check whether the proposal has requested for a lower funding. So at that point, lower funding proposals will be preferred, but it's on the ranking of the accepted, the eligible, proposals.
Thank you, Felicia. I continue with the question. I see Gaia that asks, what does it mean open source? Does it mean that whatever else would use our open source solution must also release it as open source, or can they financially benefit from their upgrade of our open source files? It depends. You can use different categories in open source, right?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Gaia, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm the one who asked the question. So yeah, in the application, it just says we prefer it to be open source. So, but what does it mean for future users of our solution? Or can we like say, if you use our open source, then you also must release it as open source? So is it up to us, or is it up to the project?
In other projects, I don't know the specific one, so I try to refer to my experience. You can release something in open source and ask to share alike. So continue.
Okay.
If is that something that you wish, definitely you can do it.
Okay.
It's entirely up to you. There's no, we are not going to force you to release anything in any kind of way. However, it's going to be taken into account during the evaluation if you will produce specific components that can be reused by other people, and whether these components will be open source or not. But
okay,
this is entirely your decision.
Then I continue thank you. And then I continue with Pedro's question. Can you provide a description of type of application and XR tools that XR2LEARN are looking to fund? Do they have to meet any specific criteria, or is completely open?
There are no specific criteria. As you can see, we may prefer tools that are relative to XR in education and Industry 5, but there are no criteria. We also accept applications from other educational sectors or maybe medical sectors, so there are no specific criteria.
Thank you, Felicia. So I continue with the Romain question. He says, my company is a leading SME. One of my essential partners is not an SME, but a big company. Is the project still eligible? And second, if the big company is not requesting any funding, that's work? Follow-up question. If one of the three partners does not have a PIC number, can we still apply? I think you need the PIC number. You get easily by registering on the portal. And what about the big company without money requesting? Will be still working?
I think this is a very interesting question, and I would like to ask you please to post this question on our F6S blog in order to be able to answer in more detail, and I think it will be also interesting for other candidates. So thank you.
He said we'll do so. Good. Thank you. You have the link just below, I think, your question. Then let me scroll down. Is the professional training included? Sorry, I got other questions, so my screen went up. I don't see anything anymore. So Roman question is the last one for me.
I can see the question, Alessandra. Is professional training included in the scope of education? And the answer is yes.
Okay. Do you see any other? Why I don't see anything anymore? I don't know. Do we have other questions, Sophia, that you see, Melissa?
Yeah, I see one last question for now, which is from Brenda.
Please. I
Yeah,
don't see anything anymore.
I can read it out. It's not a problem. How can the SME applying protect their intellectual property ongoing forward? In addition, if the SME applying already have a platform, could this be a potential conflict in uploading it to the XR2LEARN platform? This is the question from Brenda.
Regarding the IPR of the project, this is totally up to you, to the persons of the project. And I think this is the new projects have to be an innovation. So, yes.
You cannot apply with something already existent, I think, because it's not.
As we answered again before, if it's an extension and compatible with the XR2LEARN domain in general, then it's very welcome. But you have to provide an innovation.
Okay, this I don't see any other question from participant in the chat. We can give you 1 minute more to maybe speak up and make a question. Otherwise, we could wrap it up. I'll give you 1 moment to think of a question or write it down. Please be reminded to use the form, because then other people can learn from your question. Maybe they have the same doubt, and then by reading the form, they will have the answer. Then we have David that asks, if I understand Yannis correctly, some companies already develop or are in development. If I understand correctly, Yannis, some components already develop or in development are eligible to participate in this call?
Yes, if they provide something new and innovation, of course they can. And as I mentioned before, when I mentioned innovation, we mean the development part. They have to be technologically innovative. So the answer is yes. And as Alessandra said, you can always ask us questions later on the F6S blog. We will be able to answer you.
Then somebody asked about the record. We can give you the record once the session is finished, because it needs to be produced by Zoom and then will be uploaded on our website via YouTube support. When you say innovation, does it need to be technical innovation, or can be the solution innovate?
As I said, yes, it has to be technologically innovative as a solution.
But if also your idea is innovative, it doesn't hurt. But the technology is important, of course. Okay, we have a couple of minutes more, so I will just ask to Sophia and Felicia as a co-host to repost the form, then people have it as a last one. We will have that link also in other pages of our website. Follow us, XR2LEARN, and you will find all the information and other webinar events that we will have soon. I don't know if Felicia or Sophia, you want to add something? Yanis, I think, is flying now. So, and then we have from Eric the last question. Does it mean we need to have a patent? I don't think so.
No, it's not obligation.
Somebody thanks us, and we thank you guys. So thank you very much for being here and for being so active with your question. Be reminded about the forum. Sorry for repeating that so often, but it's very important for everybody. And if you have a further question, please don't forget to contact us. And have a great day and the continuation of the week. Bye to everybody.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
A lot of success with the applications.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.